Hey guys, excuse the wet hair and lack of makeup, but I just read an email. I should be getting ready for work, but I read this email and I really wanted to answer this or at least send out a message to anyone that has felt this way. Okay. And the email had to do with feeling like, somebody just found out that they were in narcissistic relationships their whole life. In other words, from childhood through every romantic relationship. And this person is in their 50s right now. And she was like, I feel like it's too late for me. Like, the boat has sailed. Um, there's nothing I can do. I'm too old to heal. I'm too old to do anything with my life. So I really wanted to reach out to anyone that feels that way or has felt that way and let you know that your life can be anything you want it to be. Okay, whether you've been through narcissistic abuse or not. I know that we can tend to think age is something that matters. And for the record, just so that you guys aren't like, yeah, Michele, you could say that. No, I'm pushing 50, guys. I am pushing 50. And I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm not ready. I'm not mature enough to accept that I'm going to be 50 years old in a couple of years. But I know what it's like. And this is why I'm sharing it. I know what it's like to feel like my best years are behind me. I know what it's like to feel like I lost so many opportunities because of different circumstances that I went through. But I also know what it's like to break through that and to do the inner work so that I can recreate my life and be happy and have an amazing life. Okay. No, I'm not 25 anymore, but I have an amazing life and you can too. So I want to share a couple of things with you. The first thing that I want to share is that many people in life start out at a later age becoming successful at anything. And I did a quick Google search just to kind of back this up with information. And I literally did this in like 2 minutes right before I hit the record button. But just to mention a few people, fashion designer Vera Wang didn't design her first dress until she was 40. Henry Ford was 45 when he created the revolutionary Model T car in 1908. And in case you're saying, yeah, but that's still younger than I am. Well, writer Harry Bernstein authored so many rejected books before he got his first hit at age 96. Okay, I could go on and on, but I'll leave that for you. You can look up your own inspiring stories. My point is, just because you reach a certain age doesn't mean you stop striving after what you really want in life. But the key is in that one word in that sentence is want. Do you really want that? Do you really want a different future? And that may seem like an easy question, but the truth is, in order to want that, and in order to want to go after our preferred future and the life that we really want, that means letting go of things that we are doing in the moment. That means change. That means learning new ways to think, learning or updating and upgrading your subconscious programs. It means being willing to invest in you. And that's why I say you really have to want it. You really have to want something better for yourself. Then once you want it, right? Because sometimes, I'm going to be honest, sometimes I get clients and they want a different future. I'm a mess. They want a different future. They want better for themselves, but they don't want to let go of certain things in their life, certain things that may not be serving them, but they're familiar. And change can be scary. Change can be intimidating, right? It requires things from us. Whereas staying as we are requires nothing. It's easier to stay stuck after narcissistic abuse than it is to move through it and to experience what is known as post-traumatic growth. Okay. So once you want it, then you have to be willing to do the work to get it, because it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't mean it takes years, but it does take some time, and you have to be willing to give yourself that time, especially because you've been through a lot. If you've been through decades of psychological manipulation, that changes the brain, that rewires your brain, your subconscious beliefs, your thought patterns. So it takes time to work through those. But to inspire you, I just want to inspire you, okay? For people that do the inner work and they are willing to spend time on themselves, spend time rewiring the brain, rewiring the nervous system, they have the joy of getting back to their authentic self. When we stay stuck in the molded, limiting, disempowered image or mold that the toxic person kind of twisted you up in. And when we don't take the time to move forward, we stay stuck in that mold. With time doesn't change. We tend to think time heals all wounds. Well, some wounds it heals, but it does not heal trauma. We have to do the inner work. Some of the things that happen as a result of doing the inner work, of not giving up on yourself, of taking the time to heal, are you overcome a lot of the symptoms that have caused a lot of unhappiness in life. For example, sometimes people don't even know why they are people pleasing, or why they always sacrifice self, or why they never have reciprocal relationships. When you're doing the inner work, then you work through all of that. You get to the root of those behaviors that keep you unhappy in relationships. Something else that happens is you get to know you, maybe for the first time. Narcissistic abuse causes you to know everyone else, right? And to focus so much on the narcissist, what they like, what they want, what they need, what makes them upset, what makes them happy, that were you to ask yourself, what do you feel? What do you think? It's almost like there's no answer there, because there has been a disconnection from self for so long. So another one of the benefits is you reconnect with yourself. As a result of reconnecting with yourself, you learn to have or to trust your gut instinct. So instead of feeling like a wave that's like blown about by the wind, so to speak, you start to feel grounded. Like there's an anchor inside of you. You know who you are. You trust your decisions. You trust your ability to do things. You trust yourself. And that's something that's taken from you from narcissistic abuse. Working through narcissistic abuse helps you to break out of fight or flight, okay? Because being with a narcissist or toxic person puts you in survival mode, but leaving doesn't mean that you leave survival mode. You can still be stuck in survival mode, even if the person isn't in your life anymore. So when you take the time to work through it, you help your body to break out of survival mode, which is good for your health. On top of good for your health, it helps you to get in touch with the creative sides that you have. When you're in survival mode, you can't think about being creative. You can't think about, anything outside of survival. And that's not living, right? So it allows you to tap into that. Because you are getting a healthy relationship with self as you're healing, you will be able to have healthier relationships with others, because we tend to recreate with others the relationship we have with ourselves. So for example, if I'm always ignoring myself and I feel like I don't matter, and I put myself last on everyone's list and I put everyone above me, it's very common that I will find myself in relationships with people who see me as I don't matter, who put me last and put themselves first or anyone else on their list of priorities, because we teach people how to treat us. Okay, so as you get healthier with yourself, then you get healthier relationships outside of self. Another thing that helps, another bonus of taking the time, no matter what your age, to work on yourself, on your own personal growth after narcissistic abuse, is you learn how to heal your triggers. Instead of living life trying to avoid anything that triggers you, you learn to heal the triggers, which allows you to be in different external circumstances without fear, because you've learned how to work through your triggers, how to heal your triggers. And so you feel grounded enough to handle things. So you don't have to isolate, you don't have to hide, you don't have to be hypervigilant anymore. So my point is, I could go on and on, but my main point that I want to say is, don't give in to thinking, oh, it's too late for me. I can't heal. I'll never be able to overcome the side effects. I'm not going to lie, it is challenging and it is harder. It's harder to do the inner work to heal, again, like I said before, than it is to do nothing. But as somebody that was on that side of it and has worked through it, I can tell you that the thought of living the rest of my life how I was 7 years ago, God, I would not want to live that life. I was stuck inside of myself, and it's not a good place to be. It's not a happy place. And so I know what it's like to be there. I also know what it's like to wonder if I can ever break through it, because there were times where I thought that too. I was like, am I ever going to feel human again? I didn't feel like a person. So I get that. But I also know what it's like to get to a place where I'm actually doing things that I always wanted to do and experiencing things that I never thought I could experience, would have liked to, but didn't even think that I could back then. And if I can do it, anybody can. So don't let your past dictate your future. Take a moment after this video, get out a piece of paper and ask yourself this question. If from today forward, I could have or live the life that I want as the person that I really am, what would I be doing? Clarify what you would want, the life that you would really want, because if you can't see it, if your brain has nothing from the future to look forward to, it will regurgitate the past. Okay, so put it down on paper. Think about it. Allow yourself to contemplate that you can have that. And then find whatever resources you need to help you. I have the Thriver School of Transformation. I'll leave the link here. That's a monthly membership. We meet live weekly. We try to work through the side effects of complex PTSD and narcissistic abuse together. But if that program doesn't work for you, find something. Find something, because that is one thing that I will say when it comes to overcoming narcissistic abuse is we often need help. Kind of like somebody that's been hurt physically. They need a physical therapist, right? So they need some kind of assistance until they're strong enough to do it on their own. So find something that resonates with you and don't give up on you.